Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Well, welcome to a special edition of Freed on Business. We're thrilled to have everybody here today, especially our old friend, Matt Gold. This is episode 813. And want to welcome everybody and remind everybody we're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram at Freed on Business or at Jim Freed. Today, like I said, our guest is our old friend Matt Gold, who's been on many episodes with us. Matt is known as Medicare Matt, Medicaid Matt. I'm really not sure what the difference is, but I'm sure Matt does, and he'll tell us in the show. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry. As always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry. I want to thank Larry, Ismet, Eric, and the rest of the team, Gerald, over at Warren Henry for keeping my family and I and a lot of my friends and clients happy and rolling on the highway. And now on to the show. Mr. Mendoza, is Matt here with us? There he is. Here. There he is. Hey, it's a special time for us, Matt. I'm just going to roll it right out there. There's my.
I wish you would. This is awesome.
Mini basketball. I got plenty of other Gator stuff here, but everybody sees it over my shoulder. Always the Gator on the show. I want to thank you, Matt. We've done many episodes. You were my co-host for at least a year, maybe longer. It was really nice to have you. And then you got into your new gig there. I said Medicare Matt, Medicaid Matt. I don't really know even what the difference is, but here I am. I'm heading up closing in on the gap there. Another Medicare pun. So what do we need to know as, we get closer to 65? What are things people need to look out for? And what's the difference between Medicare and Medicaid?
Yeah. So first of all, it's a lot of fun. So thank you for that. In reference to Medicare, Matt, Medicare has decided in their infinite wisdom to not allow on the fly to MedMat. So MedMat, formerly known as Medicare Mat, but it's still the same great, information and whatnot. But Medicare, to answer your question, is more of coverage for those who typically turn 65 and older, whereas Medicaid is for those who need financial assistance and they can get their health insurance through that, but it's more of a financial help from Uncle Sam, whereas Medicare is more of, when you're 65 and older and you're not on a group health insurance product through an employer, the only place you can get your health coverage is through the Medicare system, where Medicare will cover 80%, and then whatever supplement or advantage plan will pick up the remaining piece.
Okay, so there's for my first misconception is that once you turn 65, the government picks up your health care. Was that ever the case?
Well, ever is a big word, but I think what happened was the program began, back in 1965, believe it or not, and it basically started out as Medicare and a supplement, and then the supplement picking up the 20% missing piece, and all the individual health insurance providers were, vying for that position to pick up that 20. Whereas then the Medicare Advantage came along a little later, and effectively what happens is they take the Medicare component, the 80% and the 20% supplement, and they sort of wrap it together and bundled it and made it Advantage. And so it's like a bundling of a product, and it's just what they do is they really try and control costs. And now instead of Medicare really ruling it, it's more of the independent insurance companies ruling the Advantage product. So as a new person to Medicare, you get to choose between either Medicare Plus supplement or Medicare Advantage.
So does that drop my overall healthcare costs from an insurance perspective? Does my rate lower?
So the goal with the Advantage side of that equation, and what I try and do with my clients is I try and paint a picture, because I know it's always easier when you sort of see it, visualize it, and so I always draw a triangle. So the top of the triangle is original Medicare, Part A and B, which I can explain later, but the bottom left we'll call a supplement, and the bottom right we'll call Advantage. So you get to pick either the left side of the triangle or the right side. If you go with an Advantage plan, because they're bundling it and they're really controlling it, i.e. the insurance companies are controlling it, yes, you're going to see a cost savings. So believe it or not, most of the Advantage products in South Florida have 0 monthly premium. So it really helps individuals who might otherwise be concerned about the high cost of health insurance. Here's an opportunity to go with a product that, resonates because of the cost.
Well, the first thing that people think about is, do I keep my doctors?
Right. And so what we do when we talk about Advantage product is they're all networked plans, which means the doctors have to be networked within the specific Advantage plan you're choosing. And what we do, or I do, is I make sure that I get that list of must-have doctors from the individual and just match it to the right plan. So this way you'll feel good about the choice you're making.
So, for instance, at my house, we have one person that's got a chronic situation that's already on that gets support because of dialysis and the political deal that was made with that. And then there's me, and I have a platinum plan, whatever you want to call it. And I have all my doctors, and because I'm a legacy person, and I've been able to make a lot of relationships in the healthcare field. We used to have as a sponsor. I have access to the top doctors at and U Health. So is that something that can be protected
without question? And I think you were going down the path of, sometimes people can, a husband and wife example, one can go with a supplement and one can go with Advantage, or both can go Advantage, but they could be different Advantage plans. In the world of Medicare, you're an individual. You're not a bundled, or a coupled plan.
Oh, okay. Because I have tremendous insurance, thanks to my advisors like you that have helped me figure it out in the past. I have my wife and I on a individual group plan. I don't even know what to call it. But as we continue to get older, there's different things that we want to consider. Now, one of the things that's really confused me is timing. If you miss, on collecting Social Security, you can defer that for a while. But if you miss at 64 or 65, declaring for Medicare,
Medicare.
Medicare, do you miss the boat entirely?
So the short answer is it depends. So
I love your "it depends" answer.
Right.
We don't do a full hour anymore. So please editorial.
I'll keep it short and brief and depends, all in the same word. Wow.
Wow.
Anyway,
I didn't go there. We're a family show. I didn't go any further.
So what happens when you turn 65 or just a couple months prior, you get the opportunity to go on Medicare. But if one is on a group plan with an employer, you're not necessarily forced or required to join Medicare. You can postpone it for as long as you have what we'll call credible group coverage, right? So that's your play to stay on group if you so choose. I have a lot of clients that find that Medicare is better for them, so they jump ship and still stay in the company. I have other clients that, their employer gives them such great benefits that they say, I'm not ready for Medicare, even though Medicare might be, what we appear to be more cost effective, it still might even be more cost effective, even so, more so on the group plan. And maybe there's an issue where they have a younger significant other that if they left the group plan, that significant other, i.e. dependent, would lose that product if they left. And then it becomes much more problematic / expensive on individual for that leftover person. So sometimes it makes sense for the person that's the primary in the group setting to stay. I rolled into that pretty quick. I don't know if I lost you.
Of course you did. So, it's what it sounds to me like is what you said up front, which is that it all depends.
Yes.
And I think that people at a certain point need to have an advisor. I advise families and real estate companies on real estate. You advise people on health and wellness. Mr. Mendoza, what's the contact information? Can you put that up there for MedMat, Mr. Gold?
There it is.
There it is. So you have a website too, don't you, Matt?
That he put it up, medmat.com. It looks super.
You said Part A and Part B. What is that?
So remember the triangle. We have the triangle. The top of we're going to label original Medicare. Original Medicare is broken into two pieces, Part A and Part B. Part A is called your hospitalization coverage. It covers the person 100%, and it costs nothing. But don't get too terribly excited. It just means a room in a hospital with a bed, blanket sheet, not guaranteed private. Then there's Part B, is the medical. That's the meat and potatoes. That's going to be all your doctor coverage, your radiological services, your therapies, physical, occupational, speech, what have you, any kind of surgical procedure, inpatient, outpatient, what have you. And that's all covering you at 80%. And for most people, that'll cost $185 per person per month. But it's also tied to somebody's income. So it may be more money. So that's where the advising comes into play. But once you have Part B, then you're eligible for either the bottom left or right of the triangle, not both, one or the other. Again, bottom left, I labeled supplement. Bottom right, I label advantage. And the big difference is the top of the triangle and the bottom left is an 80-20 relationship. The top of the triangle, the bottom right, is a bundled relationship. It just bundles together and becomes 100%, your coverage as an advantage plan.
So I'm going to go back to it now. And it sounds to me like people just need to have somebody walk them through all this. And that's where you come in.
Right. And I think the benefit here, just like when you do your real estate deals, you really don't get paid until the deal is done. And it's the same here. I don't charge for my time. I just charge, I don't charge anything. It's the insurance company. Like when you buy car insurance, the agent gets paid if you sign up and buy something, but it's paid for by the insurance company. It doesn't affect your premiums in any way. And you just get a free advisor coaching you on what matches your needs, because everybody's needs are different. And that firsthand, right? In your household, they're very different.
Oh my goodness. And it's very complicated. I'm still not sure that I have the right insurance for health and wellness in my house. But as I was teasing earlier, now I really mean it. We're going to be right back with the bottom line with MedMat. We're going to talk about your health, your wellness here today with MedMat. And if you're getting close to the 64 age, it's probably time to at least start getting Matt's phone number on your phone. So I'll ask Mr. Mendoza while we're on break to maybe get your phone number, and then we can kind of go from there. Mr. Mendoza, I've been teasing you, but now it really is your time. You're all three legs of the triangle at once. Mr. Mendoza, give it to me. Okay, Miami. Boy, he does that Miami stuff very well. I want to remind everybody that our friends at Warren Henry have been sponsoring us for 13, 14 years. Larry, Eric, Ismet, of course, Warren himself are all good family friends. They treat us like family. They'll treat you like family too. They've got a store up in Gainesville that sells Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got a store that sells everything. Their flagship stores at 151st and Biscayne, where they have Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, and now Lincoln. Award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover stores down in South Dade and West Broward. And they all come with a great team with that family feeling. And, they come with the Warren and Henry Advantage, a whole list of things that includes the loaner car if you reserve it when you get your service. Got to join my friends, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my clients, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. So glad you got my favorite car color in that ad, Mr. Mendoza. I'm going to remind everybody I'm Jim Freed. I'm the founder of Sandstone Realty Advisors. We advise families and international businesses and U.S. businesses and local developers and regional and national developers on capital and building out their real estate businesses, helping them with transactions. We do transactions all across the country and right here in South Florida as well. So give me a call, reach out to me. And remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Here we go. Our photos of downtown Miami and all the deals that I've done. I really love those bumpers and everything else. We're back with our guest, Matt Gold. Mr. Mendoza, can you bring on Matt again? There he is, Matt. Matt, there he is. Hopefully you had time to go do your jumping jacks and stay in shape, Matt. So we're here for the bottom line. And, I think I've got the bottom line. I think that the bottom line is that you need help to navigate these health insurance issues as you get closer to having the government impact you. I know that a lot of my friends keep their insurance, their corporate plan, and then use Medicare. But it sounds to me like it's really a decision matrix that you help lay out for people and then help guide them through, Matt, and no cost to them.
Correct. You got it 100%. There's just too much to know. And everybody can do things on your own nowadays because of the internet, and it's a great tool. But the problem is if you make a mistake and choose the wrong product, it could wind up costing you significant dollars and or access to the appropriate healthcare providers. So you really got to know, that the choices you make are the correct choices. And like I said to you earlier, I don't cost anything. I'm just here to help. And I match up what your needs are to the product that's available.
Well, Matt, as I get closer to 64 and 65, it's good to know that at least something doesn't change. And that's how handsome and good looking you are.
Well, it's all because I get to hang out with you from time to time.
You're tremendous, Matt. I do want to remind everybody to please reach out to Matt. I'm going to be using him as my consultant. I highly recommend him as a wonderful, kind person and somebody who really puts his clients and people first. I want to remind everybody, contact me, reach out to me, Sandstone Realty Advisors. We can help you just like Matt does. Whenever you call Matt, it's always all about you. Same thing when you call me and reach out to me. If you missed something on today's episode, it was a big, fast overview. But if you go through it a couple times, I think you'll realize you really do need somebody like Matt. And like I said, I'm going to be using Matt. If you missed something on today's episode, you should check out our replay on any of our social links, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, or Instagram. Look for @Jim Freed and @Freed on Business. Of course, we have lots of people that download us. Actually, Matt, believe it or not, hundreds and hundreds of downloads every month. Head on over to at Freed on Business YouTube. At Jim Freed YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your audio. Check out all of our other past episodes as well. I want to remind everybody to check our friends out at Warren Henry. We're always treated like family. They also make it always all about you at Warren Henry. I want to thank our friends at the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies, where not only am I a member of the board, but I also help a lot of the young people get jobs, and I mentor a lot of them. Remember, I'd like to remind everybody that the person wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Mr. Mendoza, show the people Miami.